All right, thanks, Miranda. And joining me now to go in depth on the issue of gay marriage, now before the Supreme Court, as the justices hear these historic oral arguments today. What's at stake here? Joining me now to discuss this is David Niose, legal director of the American Humanist Association. David, it's great to have you with us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, first of all, for folks who might not be aware, tell us what a humanist is and what is your interest specifically with this case?
Well, a humanist is just somebody who is basically non-religious and approaches life looking at things from a scientific and rational standpoint with progressive values, not being weighed down by, say, religious doctrine and dogma from the past and making decisions today.
All right, so let's try to take the religious aspect out of this, if that is even possible, and talk about public opinion in this country. We have reported on this time and time again. It seems like public opinion in this country, most of the folks, a vast majority of them, support this idea when you look at where it's legal now in these 36 states, I believe. So I want to ask you, in following up on what Justice Stephen Breyer said today, why does the Supreme Court really need to decide this case?
Well, because it's become clear that same-sex marriage is a right, and it's not something that should be voted on at the ballot box. When discrimination is recognized by the government, which finally discrimination against same-sex couples has been, there's not a vote on it. We don't let certain communities decide that they'll let people marry, other communities decide that they don't. It has risen to the level of a recognized right, and rights are not subject to ballot boxes.
And I think I'd have to agree with you, at least when you look at the public opinion polling, but also we have seen the backlash against states that tried to impose what some would say are onerous rules on the issue here. We saw what took place in Indiana, and therefore, again, there's this market reaction, so to speak. Why does, again, the Supreme Court have to do this when it's already being decided with the free market economy we have and in states where it has been legalized?
Well, it's not so clear that it has been decided by the free market economy. In some communities, they would like to have laws that forbid or that allow businesses to not serve gay people. That is just plainly discrimination. We've come too far, and we need to recognize as a society that we have rights and that people are respected, especially when somebody decides to enter the stream of commerce by conducting business in this diverse society. They cannot just pick and choose who they will and will not serve based on invidious discrimination.
All right, fair enough. I do also want to ask you about a story that caught our attention. The gay owner of a hotel has now apologized for hosting a Ted Cruz event after receiving some backlash of his own from the gay community who called for a boycott of his hotel. Doesn't this show us that some of the intolerance is on both sides of this issue?
Well, I wouldn't call a boycott intolerance. If a business is discriminating against you in a very invidious way, it's perfectly acceptable. That is the free market, quite frankly. Customers have the right to point out prejudice and to encourage people not to patronize businesses that discriminate.
All right. Well, it's an interesting debate, and we asked yesterday if the court today would be looked at as a Warren court or the Burger court, perhaps taking a huge step forward, as some would say, to maybe legalize gay marriage. It'd be interesting to see. David Niose, I want to thank you very much for your time from the Humanist Association. Great to talk to you, sir, and great to get your insights.
Thank you.